Don't forget to subscribe, man. Welcome back, guys. Anime here. Today I have a brand new topic for you all. Since you clicked on this video, it looks like you're interested in Fate Unlimited Blade Works this time. You may not remember what I told you in my last video, but I said Fate Stay Night was originally a visual novel. Unlimited Blade Works is one of the 3 routes that was adapted from the novel into the anime. There's Heaven's Feel, which got a movie, and there's the Fate route. This is the most shafted route by far. Why you photo? Please give us a remake. Sorry, ignore that. Let's just get to summarizing Unlimited Blade Works. I might skip around, but you probably want to see the cooler stuff, right? So, Unlimited Blade Works starts off with a flashback of a red-headed main character, Shiro, in a fire in Fuyuki, Japan. But not too soon after, we cut to Shiro slumped in the shed, before being woken up by Sakura, an important character, just not in this video. She leaves, and we see a glimpse of Shiro's magecraft projection, scaring a metal pipe. Now at school, we drop the subject. One night, while walking home at night, in a flashback, Shiro remembers his father, Kuritsugu, talking about the meaning of being a hero of justice, and that a hero of justice can't save more than those closest to him. Not too long after the conversation, Kuritsugu had passed away, leaving Shiro all alone. Shiro reaches the dojo in the school and begins to clean it up, spending all day in there. When Shiro gives chase, when Shiro thinks he might have finally outran the spearman, he gets speared in the heart. Shiro folds up like a pizza and falls face first. The man in blue expresses how unlucky Shiro was and leaves him to die. When Shiro lays there dying, and all hope seems lost, someone comes to his rescue. A familiar voice of a girl. She's in distress as to why Shiro was there, when he should have been home. She pulls out a red emblem, which appears to have done some good, as the very next moment, Shiro breathes again, and gets up looking confused. He was sure he was stabbed. After going, the female swordsman fights off the man now known as Lancer, sustaining an injury in the process. After Lancer leaves, she introduces herself as Saber. What Shiro thought was just a bruise was actually something called a command seal. Saber immediately goes off. So, how did you like episode 1 of Unlimited Blade Works? Personally, it's a very long episode. If you watch the episode yourself, you'll find it's like 50 minutes long. I'm surprised I even got it this short. Anyway, here comes episode 2. When they stop fighting, Rin and Shiro return to where Lancer and Shiro fought. Rin displays confusion as to how Shiro managed to fight off Lancer before summoning Saber to help him. Shiro is brutally honest and says he got his butt kicked. Later on, in Shiro's house, Rin, Shiro, and Saber are sitting down. Rin tells Shiro about how he is a master and that even though he was unwilling, he is now part of what is known as the Holy Grail War. A death match between 7 masters and 7 servants. Rin explains that each servant is a hero from the past. Her servant, the man in red, is known as Archer. After this, Rin tells Shiro to visit the overseer of the Holy Grail War inside the church. Inside the church, the overseer is named Kirei Kotominen. He explains to Shiro about the Holy Grail and the power the Grail can grant the Holy. After the explanation, Shiro and Rin leave only to encounter the white-haired girl and Berserker, another servant. The white-haired girl introduces herself as Ilya von Einsberg. Rin and Shiro discuss what to do about her, but Ilya gets impatient and orders Berserker to kill. Archer provides cover fire while Saber fights Berserker directly. Berserker and Saber continue fighting somewhere elsewhere, leaving Shiro behind. Meanwhile, back at the church, Kira talks to a blonde-haired man about the outcome of the first battle. currently taking place, and decides to hang back and wait for the results. Back into battle, Saber chases Berserker into a forest and they clash. At the same time, Rin fights off Ilya. While fighting with Berserker, Saber reveals her sword for only a moment and blows away Berserker's top half, killing him. But Berserker is not dead. He regenerates due to something called a noble phantasm. Archer fires an arrow at Berserker, and Shiro notices, so he grabs Saber and runs away before the arrow hits Berserker, and Archer explodes Berserker from like 500 miles away. Berserker just tanks it and walks away as Ilya waves them by. She decides to spare their lives anyway. Saber thanks Shiro for saving her and asks Shiro to let go of her hand. But Shiro falls to his knees and Saber asks if he's unwell. Shiro starts coughing blood and it seems that he's actually injured. Shiro wakes up to find his injuries healed from the battle with Berserker. Rin reveals she healed him while he was passed out. Later, Shiro finds Saber in his home dojo. She warns Shiro not to take risky actions during battle. She reveals that as a heroic spirit turned servant, when their true identity is revealed, their weaknesses when they were alive also follow, being dangerous if discovered early. That's why she hides her sword in a mist. Later in the episode, Rin finds bodies all around her in a strange pink mist, possibly from a servant who she thinks is most likely female. Archer asks Rin about Shiro. She replies that she'll ignore him as long as he doesn't stand out. The next day at school, Rin confronts Shiro and decides that she has to kill him as he is a master. A bystander happens to be nearby, but something happens to her, causing her to scream. This causes Shiro to break away from Rin to go help the bystander. Shiro gets stabbed by a chain spike and decides to confront his attacker, leaving Rin to deal with the girl. The attacker is revealed to be a pink-haired servant who uses chains as a weapon. She's about to kill Shiro when Rin saves him in the nick of time. The servant retreats. Rin and Shiro decide to put their battle on hold. Since the servant was so close to the school and Shiro was able to be attacked almost immediately, that must mean they figured out that another master is there at the school. Rin and Shiro decide to work together until they find out who the master is at the school and defeat them, before they absorb all the energy from all these students in the school to strengthen their servant. In the dojo, Shiro meets up with Saber and shares that he's working with Rin. Saber wishes to confirm whether or not an alliance with Rin will be null once this third master in the school is taken care of. Shiro replies yes it will. Later, Rin and Shiro disable the seals around the school that threaten the students. While in the shed after practicing his protection ragecraft with Saber, he is kidnapped. Shiro is dragged to a temple and another servant reveals itself. This time, it's Castor. Saber rushes to save Shiro, but encounters another servant. He introduces himself as an assassin, but with his true identity known as Sasaki Kochi. Later on in the temple, Castor wants to take Shiro's command seals for her master and begins torturing Shiro. But before she could succeed, a rain of arrows rains down upon Castor, stopping the spell and causing her to jump away from Shiro. It's Archer. He had saved Shiro from Castor and jumps down into the battle. In this amazing sequence, Saber and Assassin attack each other relentlessly, keep trying to kill each other with each strike and just failing to do so. Saber is confused. She can't break through Assassin's defenses despite being stronger, faster, and more heavy. She can't do anything to get by him. She doesn't know what to do. Archer does all he can and pulls out a special arrow called Calidbulk to put Castor down for good. He pulls it back and shoots it. Castor tries to block it, but it goes right through her and hits her dead on. With Castor seemingly down, Assassin decides to get serious and yields his higher ground position to face Saber directly. He gets into a stance, and it seems that Saber sees her own death in the future and decides to counterattack before it happens, but she does it too late and the attack hits her, seemingly defeating him. Back at the temple, Castor is heavily injured, but Archer lets her go on a limb, leaving Shiro frustrated. Saber recovers quickly from Assassin's attack and gets back up. Archer stops Shiro from chasing Castor. Shiro refuses and Archer decides to cut Shiro down. While fighting Assassin, Saber notices a badly wounded Shiro and ignores Assassin to go to his aid. Assassin respects this and the fight stops at the moment. He decides to let Saber go. Before she could leave, Archer, determined to finish Shiro off, tries to kill him, but is blocked by Assassin. Archer and Assassin begin fighting while Saber escapes with Shiro. Shiro has a nightmare where his hands turn into swords, then his forearms, and then his arms as he screams in pain as his body becomes more swords. When Shiro wakes up, he immediately checks his arms and they are normal. He wonders if they are just another dream. The episode then shows us a training session between Saber and Shiro in the dojo, using wooden swords. Saber says that Shiro no longer wastes any movement when fighting, but Shiro replies that all he did was copy Archer. When Saber leaves the dojo, Shiro finds another sword and dual wields two wooden swords in order to mimic Archer's fighting style. Shiro is sitting down in the school, and while he gets up, he sees a crowd of people blocking the door. When he goes to talk to them and says why they're not going to the cafeteria, they reply to go see what's out in the hallway. He looks out the hallway and he sees Rin impatiently tapping her finger outside the door. She eventually notices him and signals him to come with her. Rin pats the ground, telling Shiro to sit by her. Rin proceeds to apologize for Archer almost killing Shiro, using one of her command spells to keep him at bay. Shiro says that it wasn't her fault, but his own. Rin asks why Shiro is so fixated on fortification magic. Shiro says it's because it's the only one he knows. Meanwhile, Shinji is placing magical seals throughout the school. Rin talks about the Mato family and that they are no longer considered mages. Shiro then pinpoints that Rin must have known that Shinji has to have been a master. Rin says she only found out recently, but she does not consider Shinji a real threat. Rin had written Shinji off as someone who couldn't be a master, but in response to this, Shiro asks what she plans to do about him. Rin doesn't plan to do anything about him, but later on, a giant seal engulfs the school, including Rin and Shiro, and now the entire school is in danger of asserting everything about it. Shiro feels uneasy, but Rin tells him to generate water in his body. Suddenly, Shiro realizes that Sakura is in danger, and he rushes to where she is. He checks her, and he finds her still alive, and tells Rin that they have to take down the master as soon as possible. Undead begins to rise within the school. Rin and Shiro begin both fighting the undead, seem to die, so Shiro decides to do the best thing possible and summon Saber to the school. Once she's there, right from the jump she starts slicing through all the golems, all the familiars, until there's nothing but dust left. Saber asks what the situation is, and Shiro explains they're trapped in a bounded field. Saber stays to fight off the undead and servant nearby, while Rin and Shiro go to disable the bounded field. Shinji thinks he has this one in the bag, but someone enters the classroom with no sign or effect from the bounded field. Shinji has his servant attack them. The same servant appears in front of Saber, now identified as Ryder. They engage in battle, but Ryder soon disappears. But all along, this was never actually Ryder. When Ryder disappears, she turns into Castor, and Castor was disguised as Ryder the entire time, and teleports away. Rin and Shiro find Shinji, but he's terrified and looks like he'll pee himself any minute. Shiro looks in the direction Shinji is looking, and finds the real Ryder's mega corpse disappearing in the classroom. Rin tries to interrogate Shinji, but he just runs away, glad he's no longer in this war. Shiro asks Rin what to do about the bodies, and Rin says the church will handle it. Rin is still shaken, and asks Shiro how he's so calm. Shiro says he isn't, and that he's full of rage, but it's just he used to seeing dead bodies. Archer asks which servant was eliminated, and Rin responds that Ryder was taken out by Castor, not that. Archer insults Ryder's death, but this offends Saber to the point where she asks if Archer wishes to fight her. Archer replies that he can't even if he wanted to. Rin decides to break up the argument, reminding Archer and everyone else of the alliance they have until the third master is taken out. Rin reminds Archer that she could always use another command spell if she wanted to. Archer concedes and lets it go. Meanwhile, at the church, Shinji runs in desperation to withdraw from the war. Kirei says he is the first to ever do this, crushing what was left of Shinji's pride. Shinji blames it all on his servant Ryder, not living up to his expectations. At school, Rin runs into Shiro and tells him that Issei is suspicious and could be Castor's master. Shiro volunteers to check if Issei is a master or not. Later, while walking, Shiro spots Rin, and Rin silences him, pointing him to a blonde-haired man outside Sakura's house. After the blonde-haired man leaves, Shiro mentions that Issei was not a master. Back at his house, Shiro, Fujimura-sensei, and Saber have a conversation about Shiro's childhood. Saber asks why Shiro wants to be a champion of justice. Shiro hesitates and leaves the room. Now by himself, Shiro says that he just wanted to follow in his father Kuritsugu's footsteps. In the next scene, the following chant is something very important to the series that I'm not going to talk over, that I think you should just hear yourself.
体は剣でできている。塩は鉄で、心はガラス。幾度の戦場を越えて腐敗。ただの一度も敗走はなく、ただの一度も理解されない。かの者は常に一人、剣の丘で勝利に酔う。故に生涯に意味はなく、その体は、きっと剣でできていた。要するにこれ、あいつが英霊になった事件なわけ。なんてバカ。
The episode starts in the morning at Rin's house. Archer asks why Rin keeps playing around, but Rin thinks he means school. He reiterates and says he means the Holy Grail War. Archer says while he does not oppose allying with the Master, choosing Shiro was not the correct decision. However, Rin opposes this and says she will never change her mind on this and will continue to ally with Shiro. Richard shrugs and decides to leave Rin to her decision, turning back into his spirit form and disappearing. When back at the school, Rin and Shiro begin to interrogate Issei. Issei says that Kazuki-sensei, a teacher at the school, is getting married soon, and that they're both staying at the Rito Temple. Rin and Shiro find out that the master of caster is Kazuki-sensei from the school. Rin decides that they should attack tonight and begin to prepare. On a quiet night, on a road where they plan to ambush Kazuki and Caster, first they want to test whether or not he's a master. Rin placed seals around the area to silence the sound, making it soundproof, so no one can hear. Rin begins charging up a shot that hits Kazuki, seemingly hurting him. The attack did no damage as Caster appears and Kazuki gets ready to fight. They are now engaged in a real battle. Caster, now aware of her attackers, gets into fight mode and starts searching for Red and tells anyone out there to come out. Shiro comes out of hiding and confronts Kazuki and Caster and asks Kazuki if Caster is controlling him because Shiro thinks Kazuki is a decent person and couldn't have allowed Caster's actions. But he also said that if Kazuki did indeed allow Caster's actions, then he was no more than just another killer. They would not show him a shred of mercy. Saber comes barreling in, going straight for Kazuki's head. But to her surprise, Kazuki stops her attack and begins putting her hands on her. She can't keep up and is being dominated in this fight by not a servant, but a human. After Saber is taken out of the fight, Caster decides to fight Saber while Rin and Shiro deal with Kazuki. Shiro takes some heavy blows from Kazuki, but Shiro stares at Rin, realizing that if he happens to fall here, she and him will both die, and he cannot allow that to happen. And so, in order to stop himself from losing, Shiro searches for a weapon strong enough to give him the edge in this battle. During this one moment, Shiro puts everything he has into his projection magic and projects two swords, the same as Archer uses, in the exact same way. And when Shiro brings these two blades out, that's when he really fights. And I mean really fight. He was exchanging blows with Kazuki, who was whipping his ass before, and now he's just giving it to him. But as well as Shiro is doing now, he can't hold this stance for long. It begins to become really exhausting. But Saber, at the same time, is starting to wake up, and Caster panics, running to her master before Saber can kill him. Caster begins to attack again, but Kazuki stops her, and they retreat for real this time. With Caster now gone and retreated, the group now have a chance to rest. Saber walks over to Shiro to see if he was injured. Rin also walks up and says that they blew their chance. Now Kazuki will never leave the temple. Shiro asks if they're giving up on slaying Caster. Rin says of course not. With the battle now over, Rin says that everyone should go home. Shiro feels some pain as the aftershocks of using his technique start to appear. Shiro replies that he's fine. Later on, a blonde-haired man is seen by himself until Shinji walks up to him and asks about him. He asks what he wants and what's his wish. The blonde-haired man simply says that too much of anything is sickening and crushes a bug underneath his foot. In the next episode, Shiro's arm starts having real problems. He can't move it like he used to and decides to leave school without telling Rin, going straight home. Later on, while cooking dinner for Saber, he drops a dish which he has never done before, probably thanks to his faulty hands. Saber says that Shiro's probably tired. Shiro replies that maybe he is. Then, not a moment later, someone's at his door, and he goes to see who it is. Shiro opens the door, and it's Rin. He forgot about their meetup today, and Rin is angry at him. Shiro apologizes for forgetting, and as an apology, Rin wants to use today's dinner as the current meeting. Later on after dinner, Rin talks with Shiro about the warmness of his house compared to the coldness of hers. Rin then gets angry when she figures out Shiro only exists to make others happy, and not himself. Once again, back in the show, Shiro practices his projection magecraft. Archer helps Shiro with his arm problems, and makes it so his mana systems work well again. After giving Shiro a little pep talk, Archer leaves. Oh my god, it's the final episode of Season 1. I can't wait, guys. Let's get to the end right now. Rin invites Shiro out on a date, and Saber acts as her bodyguard as Rin and Shiro go through the new town. We now have a quick montage of their date and how much they're having fun. Eventually they get into a batting cage, and Rin starts swinging a baseball bat perfectly, with Shiro following, and Saber, well, she fails miserably. I guess trying to swing a baseball bat like a sword never really works, does it? Don't worry, guys. I assure you, this 5 million second clip of Saber eating a sandwich is way more important than the conversation Shiro and Rin are currently having. It's just doesn't compare. In the next scene, we see Fujimura-sensei talk to Kuritsugu's grave and talk about all the things that Shiro has been up to. She regrets that all of them never got to go on a trip abroad. And, not too much behind her, we see Castor. And she's up to no good as she starts smirking. Not good. While on the bus home, strange mist starts to surround them, and they realize they were lured into a trap. They exit the bus and find it was the work of Castor. But it's not just Castor this time. She also has Fujimura-sensei, and is willing to trade her for Shiro's magic circuits. But Shiro's not having it. He's never gonna let this stand, and orders Castor to let Fujimura go. This surprises Castor, as she has nothing to say. Saber says there's no way to get the girl without one servant remaining. Castor rejects this and says there is a way. She says that if Saber were to help her with her massive mana reserves, then Castor would have enough power to summon the Grail, right to her location right there. And then, Shiro, with no choice left, asks Castor how to give him his command cells. And Saber rejects this, saying that Castor will not allow him to live after that. Rin also agrees. The next scene I'm about to show you was so enraging that I'm just gonna let you see for yourself why it sucks so bad. Due to Shiro using a command spell to stop Saber, fearing that Taiga's life might be in danger, she stops just enough for Castor to unleash her noble phantasm, Rule Breaker, and ultimately instantly win the battle due to Shiro stopping Saber in a heat of the moment. And now, as a result, using her noble phantasm, she breaks Shiro's pact with Saber and forges her own. She is now the master of Saber. Now forced by Castor to kill Rin, she heads straight for Rin's heart. But guess who blocks it? That's right, Shiro the hero, the protag, blocks another fatal attack once again. But just in time, Archer steps in to save the day and lays a bombardment of arrows upon Castor. He gets in and blows a hole in the fortified barrier, giving the chance for everyone else to escape. Saber looks at Shiro, distraught and sad that she had to betray her master. Back at Rin's house, Archer asks about Shiro's condition. Rin says he wasn't hit anyone vital, but that his injuries no longer heal due to Saber no longer being his servant. Still very injured, Shiro finds Rin on top of a roof. Shiro still wants to help Rin and find Saber and rescue her too. Rin gives Shiro a reality check and says that he's no longer a master and that he's not strong enough to go save Saber as he is right now. Rin epically jumps off this building in slow motion. With Archer by her side, Shiro can only watch as she just jumps away. We see a montage of all the remaining masters as this season starts to come to a close. Before I do my outro, I'll just let you guys see everyone's still left and still alive. And that was Unlimited Blade Works Season 1. Well guys, did you like it? I know this is a bit... Actually no, this is way longer than the video I ever did. But for those new, I probably just wanted to, I wanted you to see it, get a taste of it during the video. I basically gave you the entire collection. But anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I'm already working on my next video. Be sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys later.